Boruto episode 67 review. Now, this episode has been a very controversial episode, and it's mainly because we just came off of arguably the greatest fight in Naruto history, and now we're going on to some sort of fillerish arc. And obviously, because of that, people are not liking it, and you kind of got to understand where they're coming from, mainly because we just came off of this huge arc. A lot of people are getting hyped for the Boruto series. A lot of people that different people are coming from. But here's what I have to say: it's nothing new. Like, Naruto is known for the filler. Like, fans of other anime know Naruto or dislike Naruto mainly because of the filler. Like, we've known Naruto to go on months and months of filler, so this isn't necessarily anything new. I feel like this is like sort of the same thing. And not only that, this arc is kind of adding an element of training to it. I mean, if you guys think about it, Chocho in this whole arc, she's supposed to be learning her butterfly mode, which is the jutsu that's been passed down throughout her whole clan. So it's kind of a yin yang. You kind of get to see some sort of canon, but we all know that this overall arc is more filler, so it's on the filler side. But still, as I said, it's Naruto and Boruto. This arc overall, I feel like, is definitely going to be a comedic arc. Obviously, it's the center of Chocho. Chocho's like extremely funny. Some people find her funny, some people find her annoying. I personally find her funny. I like Chocho as a character. What I'm really hoping for is Chocho to actually get better fighting wise in this arc. I have no idea how she's going to do it, because obviously she's supposed to be acting, but most likely she is going to run into some other enemies and she's going to eventually have to fight. I've been hearing a lot of people dislike the writing of Boruto mainly because we never really get to see Boruto or anybody else learn specific jutsus. And I mean, here it is. We get to see Chocho learn a jutsu or perfect a jutsu that's been passed down throughout her clan, and now people are just like, we don't want to see this Chocho. Like, come on now. For example, I feel like if we would have got an arc like Boruto, possibly even learning like the purple lightning, things like that, like a 4-episode arc, people would probably feel better about it, man, because it's not Chocho, it's Boruto. But people will still be like, it's a slower arc, there's no enemies, things like that. But overall, about this arc, I feel like it's a good arc, but it just came at the wrong time, if you guys see what I'm saying. Like, it came right after people are just like, yeah, I'm about to come back to Boruto, as I said earlier. But getting into the other stuff that happened in this episode, one of the best things that happened in this episode was Orochimaru finally admitting his gender. Orochimaru is the first transgender ninja that we have ever seen before. Orochimaru basically admitted it, and it's not really a surprise. We've seen Orochimaru as a female back in part 1, and we've seen Orochimaru as a male back in part 1 and 2 as well. Like, we've been known this. It's always been a running joke to see, what gender is Orochimaru. Is Orochimaru a man? Is Orochimaru a woman? And he finally admitted it. Mitsuki's like extremely confused. Mitsuki don't know what to tell people. Mitsuki's just like, yo, I just need something to tell Boruto and Sarada when they ask me, like, hey, is your parent a man or a woman? Do you have a father or a mother? And poor Mitsuki, he's just gonna have to say, like, yo, it's just my parent. Like, calm down. But right before that funny scene, you got to see some sort of interactions between Orochimaru and Mitsuki. And when I say interactions, I mean an actual sparring match between Orochimaru and Mitsuki. Orochimaru obviously beat Mitsuki. It has been said that Mitsuki is actually on the same level as Orochimaru when Mitsuki is in Sage Mode. And what I really want to see is like episodes. I wouldn't necessarily say episodes, but full-length fight scenes or training scenes with Boruto versus Sasuke, or Boruto versus Naruto, Sarada versus Sasuke, things like that. I'd like to see the kids try to fight their older parents, and we kind of get to see the incremental changes about how strong these characters are. Like, for example, if Boruto were to fight Naruto, and in the next episode we'd see that, of course, Boruto would get demolished. But if Boruto were to fight Naruto like 100 episodes later, Boruto could possibly, put up a better fight against Naruto. Obviously, Naruto would still stomp him, but still, we get to see the incremental changes, and hopefully they do implement that. But this episode did give us a tiny bit of that. Obviously, it was only like 20 seconds max, but I hope they take this idea and run with that, if that makes sense. Now, Boruto and everybody else were attacked by the bandits that supposedly been sending these death threats through messages or emails, and honestly, I've been getting some words from my sources, my quote-unquote sources, that the guy, Tamura, I'm not even completely sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but he might have something to do with the bandit that's been sending them death threats. I have no idea why. Hopefully we'll get to find out some more information. But the bandit showing up did give us an opportunity to see Boruto's curse mark, or Boruto's karma seal, I should say. And it looks like they're just flaunting it, left and right. I have no idea why, but in the manga, they actually used some bandages to cover it up. I'm not completely sure why they use bandages to cover up in the manga, but in the anime, it's like they don't care. They're just going to be flaunting the karma seal throughout every single fighting scene that Boruto has. I kind of like that. I mean, just give us a foreshadow of what's going to happen in the future. But one thing I want to point out is that Mitsuki and Orochimaru has had some interactions in the last 2 episodes. In my opinion, I feel like this is definitely foreshadowing something that's going to happen in the next big arc, and the next big arc is most likely going to be the Urashiki arc. Because Orochimaru was shown in the last 2 episodes, I feel like he and Mitsuki are probably going to have a huge part in the next arc. Now, I won't be surprised at all if Orochimaru Orochimaru probably does show up in the next episode or the episode after that, mainly because they do these things where you kind of get to see characters for a little bit, and then in the next arc you kind of get to see them a lot more. And I feel like this is what's happening with Orochimaru. And I say this because Orochimaru was in the scene mainly because Mitsuki wanted to get his signature to go on this mission, but it's like they could have shown anybody else try to get their signature from their parents, or their parents. Boruto could have been trying to get a signature from Hinata. Shikadai could have been trying to get a signature from Shikamaru, but they chose Orochimaru, even though Orochimaru had some screen time in the last episode. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But as I said, overall, I feel like this was a standard filler episode. Nothing was definitely wrong with it. I didn't really find it extremely terrible, as some people do think it was. But let me know what you guys think. It's me, your boy, Bar B, and we out.